and helping to set up all the dates. Russell, is Kate being nice to you on the tour?
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
That's great. So, Russell, how did you first even learn of this opportunity to do something like this?
I actually found out about this for a friend of mine that lives in San Antonio.
Oh.
That's the same age, same thing we were talking about dating, and this site came up. So he gave me the address, and I got on it, and here I am.
Did he do it?
Yes, he's on it too. He was supposed to come with me, but couldn't make it at the last minute.
Oh my gosh! So he got you to go, and then he bailed, and then you came?
They're all giving him a hard time, yes. I sent him all kind of lovely pictures. He wished he was here.
Oh, is he regretting it now?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's great. Well, maybe he'll come again some other time. So you must have had expectations in your mind. I mean, you know how people are.
Right.
They're thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? All this stuff is probably going through your mind. So now that you've been through most of it already, is it what you thought it would be like? Is it different?
No, it's better than what I thought it was going to be like.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really been a good experience, yes.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay. It's always better when it's better than what you thought. What about the people in general in the Ukraine? I mean, are they friendly?
I found most people to be very friendly and helpful when they can be and speak English. Most of them have a little bit, but there are those that speak fluent. It's really not bad at all.
Okay. And what about the the food and stuff? Are you enjoying it? Is
The
it different?
food is totally awesome. 4-star all the way. I can't tell I'm enjoying that as much as going out.
Are you really? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So you're not hitting the McDonald's or the And Russell, we did a little bit of a different trip here because we started in Kiev, right? Mm-hmm. And then we took this crazy overnight train through the Ukraine to Odessa. And this was about a 9-hour train ride.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced anything like that before?
Never. No.
So what did you think of that? What would you tell guys about that?
That was pretty awesome too. Never drank vodka or Russians either, but there's always a first time for everything.
We can't talk about the vodka on the train. That's a secret that never happened. So we have to talk about
You weren't there though.
Thank you. I was not there. So funny. Okay, now here's the $1 million question that we have to ask Russell, right? About the social. So, what did you think when you walked into that first social in Kyiv? Was it what you were thinking? I mean, because most guys at their first AFA social, I won't say most, but some guys are a little intimidated, might go hide by the bar. You didn't seem to be too intimidated. You seemed to handle it pretty well. But what did you think?
I walked in and it was like, oh my. I've been heard, but I had no idea. There were 400 plus ladies in this place. And 22 guys.
But you had an assistant there who navigated you.
I had an assistant by my side all the time, yes. A translator. Very nice.
And that helped you?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. And so you were able to navigate. It seemed like you did pretty well. You were able to get around and talk to many of the women,
mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, yes.
So have you ever experienced anything like that in the States?
Not even close. Closest thing would be going to a beauty pageant, and good luck there.
And then you had the same support in Kyiv as you're getting here in Odessa from the staff there, and they treated you fairly well?
Oh, yes. Everything's planned out, organized, help you through everything. Dinner reservations, flowers, transportation, interpreters, everything.
Okay, so everything you needed. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And now you're here, you went through the social here. Was the second social easier for you?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And more laid back.
Was it easier to remember girls in the morning who you met on the social?
The names are very hard, and a lot of them are the same. So take good notes.
Okay. There is one more reason why we always make a big, really long consultation before a social for interpreters, because we always ask them, Mark, please, this lady was in a red dress or in a blue with the blue eyes, because very often guys come, okay, that was one lady. I didn't speak with her, but I like her. She's seated in that corner for 30 minutes, I don't know, during the social.
So, we were talking, I think last night, and you were showing me many of the women, that you had a chance to date. And this is about dating. It's about getting to know each other, right? And some men are a little bit worried about that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to feel like I'm playing and things like that. But this is about really getting to know each other. And the women are going to be dating other men. You're going to be dating other women. And when there's a good connection, you'll know it, right? But the women you were showing me were absolutely beautiful. And you were going out on these different dates with these different women. And some of them looked a little bit different than their photos. Like that one you showed me, right? I kept showing you, wait, show this to me again, because there was one photo on the site.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to our weekly
webcast. My name is John Adams, co-founder of A Foreign Affair. And yes, I'm sorry, we don't have any beautiful women here hosting the show tonight. My apologies. There's a little bit of a bug going around, not the coronavirus or anything like that, although there might have been some corona involved. But Anna's a little bit under the weather tonight, and Dina snuck out, so it's just me. But although what I lack in beauty, I make up in with experience. And I will try and share as much experience as I can and as much information as I can about all things international. I've been doing this now for 25 years, so you would think I would have learned a thing or two by now about how this all works. And yes, I was just on this tour in the Ukraine, and it was wonderful. We had a really, really great time with all the different events that we were doing, the socials, the wonderful women. This tour went to both Kiev and Odessa, and it was really remarkable. It was great. And I just want to give a shout out to all of the wonderful gentlemen that accompanied us on that tour. You guys know who you are. You guys were fantastic. It was just so much fun, from the socials to what went on in the hospitality room to the train trip that we took from Kiev to Odessa, that overnight train. That was really amazing. That was a lot of fun. We won't talk about the vodka or anything like that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. But it was fun. It was a great time. And I want to talk somewhat tonight a little bit about the tours in that sense, guys, how there's so much of a social component to these tours that we don't really talk about a whole lot. Where we talk about the fact that you can go over, you get to meet a lot of wonderful women. There's beautiful women there. It's great. And that is the main purpose of these tours, is to try for you to find that significant other, that one woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with, right? And that's wonderful. And it's great when that happens, and it happens a lot. But you get something else with these tours too that we don't talk about a whole lot, and that's the social aspect of it. That's actually the vacation part of it. That's actually the tour itself, going to these different cities, experiencing the food, experiencing the sights, seeing everything. I mean, you're taking all this in. That's part of your experience, and that to me is, worth the price of admission. Even if you don't meet the woman of your dreams, of course you're going over there for that. Of course, the whole tour is geared towards all of that, right? But there's so much more. I mean, you can go to a local matchmaker in your city right now and pay way more than the cost of this tour just for her to supposedly set you up on some dates with some women that you think that she thinks, or he thinks, whoever this matchmaker is, that you're going to be interested in. And I've talked to a lot of the guys on our tours that have used local matchmakers like that and spent anywhere from $5,000 to $7,500, $10,000, or even upwards to $50,000. And they have told me that they really did not have a great experience, did not meet, obviously, the woman of their dreams, so they wouldn't have been with us. And that's all they got, was the opportunity to go out on a date. Yet when you're with A Foreign Affair and you're traveling internationally, not only do you get the wonderful possibility of meeting all these wonderful women, which you do, given the tours that we do, the socials that we do, and the one-on-one introductions that we do via the hospitality room. I mean, that is the main purpose of everything we're doing. But in addition to that, you're getting a great vacation. I mean, a remarkable vacation that you remember for the rest of your life. And the cost of that vacation is pretty much what you would pay for a normal vacation anywhere, whether you're going to China or the Philippines, Thailand, Ukraine, Colombia, wherever it is. So you're getting value right from the get-go just for the fact that you're going on this amazing singles vacation. And then you plug right in to the amazing infrastructure that we've been working with and building for the past 25 years, and you have access to all that. And all these things that you're seeing here, these socials and all the stuff that's going on, that's all included in the price of a regular tour. To me, that's really, really cool. All right, so I'll talk a little bit more about how all that works, but what I also want to talk about is our poll question tonight. And we don't talk about all the media that we've been involved with over the last 25 years as much as we probably should. We're not ones to pound in our chest and puff ourselves like crazy. What we do speaks for itself, right? But we have had an amazing amount of media attention over the last 25 years. And I would be curious to know what your favorite piece is of media that's been done about a foreign affair. You know, it goes way back to the movie with David Arquette and Tim Blake Nelson, Emily Mortimer, which was Two Brothers and a Bride, right? That goes back many, many years. And then there's documentaries that have been done, like Love Me and others. The MTV did a documentary. National Geographic did one called Bachelors Abroad, right? So you have all that. Oh, there's Anna that you're looking at right now. She is our wonderful office manager in Odessa, Ukraine. She does a really good job. And that was a great social, by the way, that she helped to produce. Her and Kate and the other staff helped to produce there in Odessa. Did a really good job with that. Really, really nice. So anyways, guys, take a look at the media. I think they have it here on screen where they're going to actually show you some of the different media that's been done over the years, because I'm sure you just don't know it or have it memorized. I mean, certainly I don't, because there's been so much that's been done over the years, but it's there. And if you take a look, you have right there, a Sunday night piece. I mean, that was really cool. That was out of Australia. Lisa Ling, that one was amazing, with Our America, where she went to Colombia, to Barranquilla, and actually was lucky enough to witness one of the marriages that took place to people that she was actually interviewing. So that was really neat. I think you saw Dr. Phil there. Tanya and I have been on Dr. Phil a couple times, and that's an interesting one. I'll talk throughout the show, if we get time, a little bit more about some of these different media that we've been on, and some of the good, the bad, and the ugly with the media even, because most of the media, I will say, have been pretty respectful and actually fairly balanced. Like that Sunday night show, if you guys haven't seen that, that's really amazing. That's an investigative journalist outfit from Australia, very large, and they came and sent 3 gentlemen from Australia to experience in a foreign affair tour, and you know, their take on it was great, and it was very well balanced. I mean, almost to the point where I was surprised that they didn't try throwing in a few things, kind of like what Nightline did when they went over and did the same thing, pretty much in the same area. And that was a little bit interesting with Nightline, because they tried to make it look a little bit seedy, a little bit nefarious. Yet they had a hard time doing that, because everything they were filming was really cool. And the guys were all doing really well. And the socials were doing great, and introductions, and guys were just being guys, going out on dates. So although they tried their hardest to make it look kind of negative, it wasn't. And I thought that was kind of funny, actually. So you should watch that Nightline piece. I think it's pretty interesting. All right, I want to get to you and talk about... So I want to get to some of your questions here and go through that. But before I get to all these questions that you guys have, and you got quite a few here already, keep putting them in. I do a pretty good job of getting through all the questions. So if I haven't talked about your question yet, and Sly, by the way, he's asking, does the movie count as a media piece? Absolutely. That's media, right? I mean, there's movies, there's documentaries, there's the hour-offs, one-offs, and then there's the newspapers, the news pieces they've done. They've done magazine articles about us, obviously. They've done newspaper articles about us. There's just so much media that's been done about us over the years. It's pretty amazing. I don't think there's another company on the planet that's in this space that comes anywhere near to the exposure that a foreign affair has. And part of that is because we're very transparent. We're very open. We welcome it. I think some companies shy away from it. Oh my God, you mean you're going to have... Like in the case of the documentary, Love Me, we allowed them total access to everything for like 3 years. They could go to any of our offices, they could talk to any of the women, talk to any of the clients, do whatever they wanted to do, and then come out with whatever they're going to come out with. The only thing that I asked, and the only thing I ever ask any of the media, is that they be fair, they be balanced, they be honest in their reporting. They don't have an agenda, a preconceived agenda that then they just shoot to, right? Anybody can do that. Well, let's make this look like this, and let's go find pieces that look like this, and then we'll just put together this little thing and it'll look like that, right? And that is just not fair. And you can do that when you have the control of the editing room, right? You can edit anything out to make it look like you want it to look. But, you know, all in all, the media that's been done about us over the years, I think, has been fairly well balanced, actually. to my surprise, and I think that's great. But we have been and always have been very transparent and very open to the media so that they can come and they can see what this is really like and share it with the world so that the world can see, oh, yeah, I read about this stuff on the internet where they said it was like cavemen going over there and clubbing a woman over the head and then dragging her back by her hair. But now that I see how these things really work, this looks actually pretty nice. The women look like they're happy. There's drinks and food and stuff at these socials, and it looks like everybody's just kind of mingling and getting to know each other. Isn't that what I kind of want to do? Yes, yes it is. It's a heck of a lot better than writing letters, right? So yes, I think it is. So guys, please try to answer those poll questions. And I'm going to start trying to answer some of your questions now because we have a lot going on. I mean, this show is going to go by very quick because I do want to talk about some of the things that are going on in March. Talk about March Madness. We got a lot of things going on in March. It's going to be crazy, right? We've got like 3 seminars. We've got at least 3 tours going on. There's a lot going on in March. So for those of you that made that New Year's resolution to change your life this year, you know, it's not too far away from that, right? That just happened in January, and we're here in February now. And, you know, if you really want to live up to that New Year's resolution and make something happen, you know, go to one of these seminars in March. We got one happening in Vegas, March 7th. I'll be there with my wife, Tanya, and we'd love to meet you there. That's going to be a great seminar. I always love Vegas because I get guys from all over the country and even the world that come to that seminar because it's in Vegas, so that's a great reason for them to come, right? Oh, I'll go to Vegas, I can go to the seminar, and then I can go gamble and lose all my money, which isn't good. Don't do that. That's not good. But come anyways and go to a show, go to a nice dinner, do stuff. Vegas is cool. We just spent a few days there actually celebrating our anniversary. 21 years, guys, and actually I met Tanya 23 years ago now at a social just like this in St. Petersburg, Russia. 23 years. Absolutely amazing. Guys, it worked. It worked for me. You know, 23 years ago, I didn't even know Tanya existed. I didn't write any letters. I didn't do any of that. I went leading one of the tours. I was there on the tour, and she was there, and chemistry happened, and the rest is history. 23 years later, and we just celebrated our 21st year anniversary. So really cool. It can happen to you as well. But yeah, we got that going on March 7th, and in New York we have one happening on the 21st, and Anna and Dina will both be there. I know they're not here tonight. I know they're a lot prettier than I am. I apologize for that. I was going to put on a little lipstick or something. It's okay. I got to look a little better, but nah, I better not do that. That's just not going to be good for anything. So I didn't. This is who I am, so I'm sorry. But yes, they do look much better, but they will be in New York, so you'll be able to see them there, talk to them. They have great experience too. They can give you all kinds of really good information. And then in Boise, Idaho. I am so looking forward to Boise. You know, people here say, well, Boise, you know, it's kind of small. Is there going to be enough people there? I think we're going to just rock it in Boise, and I'm really looking forward to it. So all you guys, anywhere in Idaho or anywhere near Idaho, you really got to come support us at this seminar. I really want to see you there. I'll be there. Boise, Idaho. I am so looking forward to it. So please, let's fill that place in Boise, right? That's wonderful. We get guys from Boise that go on the tour, actually. And from Idaho in general. So I love Idaho. I know you guys have on that license plate, you know, land of the famous potatoes or something like that. You're just trying to throw people off about how beautiful Idaho is. And you just don't want people moving there. I get it, okay? And your secret's safe with me. I'm not going to say about how beautiful it is, but I've been to Pocatello? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but that's a beautiful area. Some other, I mean, you got the Great Tetons up there. You got all kinds of cool stuff happening in Idaho. So I'm looking forward to that seminar. All right, I better start answering some questions or I'm going to get in trouble. Chris says, cheers from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Well, cheers, Chris. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida here coming up in April, I believe, for one of the seminars. So I'd love to see you. Sly, like John throws a little comedy. I try to do a little comedy with the interview, Sly. You know, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? You got to have a little fun in life, right? And I've been doing this for 25 years, and if I didn't laugh, I'd cry, all right? So I laugh, I have fun. You just try to do the best you can. All right, Ransom McKissick says, good evening, everyone. Well, good evening. Don't forget about the poll question, you guys. Barry
says, is this new footage? Yes, Barry, it is. It's the footage that we just did. I love that swing, by the way. That was a lot of fun. She's beautiful. This is footage that we just did from the last seminar. So it was just happening, and our ACE media team got this together really quick for you and got it out there. You can see what's happening. Guys, look at this. Why would you not want to be there? I mean, give me reasons why you wouldn't want to be there. I mean, I don't get it. For 25 years, it's been like pulling teeth to get you guys to get on a darn plane and go. Oh, you'll write letters. You'll go to other sites and you'll do chat. You'll do chat until your fingers bleed. But, you know, it's so hard to actually get you on a plane and go over and see these women in person. And to me, writing the letters, doing a chat is like nothing compared to going over and meeting in person and really seeing what's going on. So, yeah. But I'll try to stay off that soapbox. I don't want to yell at you too much here tonight. You know, they haven't let me on in a long time. I finally found my way to get in here, so I got to be nice or else they'll keep me off again for a long time. Got to watch these people over here. All right. Let's see here. Is Airbnb offered in the Ukraine and or Colombia? And if so, is it safe? Yes, Airbnb is offered in the Ukraine and in Colombia. And even with some of the apartments that you'll see on our site, you can also find those on Airbnb, I believe. So yes, you can do that and use it. And I think it's great. So definitely. And I think it's safe. I mean, look, no matter where you go and what you're doing, you need to be careful. You need to understand that you're in a foreign country so you don't go off and start talking politics with everyone or, you know, drinking to excess and then stumbling around. I mean, you don't want to do those kind of silly things when you're in foreign countries. I've been traveling internationally for 25 years and knocked glass. I never really had any major issues. But I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go in a bar and get drunk and walk out at 3 in the morning and with my Rolex watch on and, you know, my big, you know, take advantage of me, I'm a tourist t-shirt, right? So, you know, pay attention to what you're doing when you're out there. Act like you've been there before and you'll be fine. But if you're looking dazed and confused, then someone will probably want to take advantage of you, and that's not good. So be careful with that. All right? All right. Let's see here. Favorite piece, Medellin Dating channel on YouTube. Huh, okay. I think that's one of ours, actually. Am I right, Kirk? Is that? Yeah. That's fantastic. See? We're good. Yeah, we produce some pretty good stuff, too. I didn't even really think about that when I was asking that question about the stuff that we produce as well. But our team does an amazing job with the content that they produce as well. These guys are all really, really good. Headed up by Kirk and his staff, they do an outstanding job. So kudos, guys. All right. Joseph wants to know, do local agents let their ladies know that when men come to Ukraine, they will be dating other women? I think, Joseph, it's not a big secret that when they're men actually going like on a AFA tour, let's say, that they will be dating other women. And I don't think it should be a secret to the men that women will be dating other men. Because, yeah, it's dating. That's what it's about. It's dating. We're all just getting to know each other a little bit, and we will be dating each other. And that doesn't mean that one guy's gonna come over, go to a social like this, and stay with one woman the whole night. That's not the idea. It would not be good for the man. It would not be good for the woman either, right? Because I guarantee you, if you stay with that one woman all night at that social, she's not gonna be too happy either, because that means that she didn't get a chance to speak to any other, I can't talk. That's why they take me off, I think. She won't get a chance to speak to any of the other men as well. And this is an opportunity for everybody to get to meet everybody quickly to see where the chemistry is. And then you go out on dates. And yes, you might go on a few dates in a day. And guess what? She might go on a few dates in a day herself too. And that's okay. Because if it's meant to be, guys, it'll be. If there's really good chemistry between you and her, I don't care if she goes on 100 dates while you're there. And I don't care if you go on 100 other dates while you're there. If that chemistry is between the two of you, then that's going to be where it's going to be. And you're going to gravitate back to her, and she's going to gravitate towards you, and that relationship is going to start. And that's the way it's supposed to work. It's a numbers game. I just had Ernest, I just talked to him today, who's going to come on the show on Wednesday, by the way. He got engaged. Congratulations, Ernest. Woohoo! So he got engaged to a wonderful woman in the Philippines, but he said he had to go on quite a few dates. I think it was in the 30s, his number, before he actually found that right woman, right? And that's fine. That's what this is about. That's why you come to a company like us, because we're about the only ones out there that can give you that kind of opportunity, because you're not going to really find that anywhere else. Others will say, well, you just don't want to have too much of a choice, because then you'll be paralyzed and you won't know what to do. Really? Really? I mean, come on. We're not children trying to get a candy bar. Yeah, you put a 6-year-old in a candy store with 20 candy bars and his head's going to explode. I get that. But you know what? By the time you get to be, in your 30s and 40s and 50s, you should understand what type of person it is you're looking for. And just because we insert you into a situation where there are a lot of other women there, that should not make your head explode. You should be able to understand where you are and understand what it is you came for and what you're looking for, and stay focused, right? Be a man, understand what it is you're after, and make that happen. Otherwise, yeah, you will kind of just wander around, and that's not what this is about. And that's why we assign you with a matchmaker who's at your side throughout that whole night, who's helping you to stay grounded, helping you to stay focused, helping you to go to the different tables and find the right person. That's what this is about, guys, and it works. It can work. But you have to be an active participant. You can't just put it on autopilot and go and expect for everything just to happen for you. You'll never find an organization that will give you more opportunity and more support than we will. But you still have to make things happen yourself too. Okay? All right. Boy, I'm having fun. I haven't done this in a while. And you know what? I didn't even have a Mountain Dew before we started. I'm Mountain Dewless, right? Doing this. This is good. Because usually I got to have like 2 or 3 Mountain Dews, right, Kirk? But I haven't had one Mountain Dew yet today. If I would have thought about it, I would. I did have a little iced tea. That might have helped a little bit. But, all right. Let's see. The Aussie, this is Eddie, saying that the Aussie news piece on Sunday night show investigating Russian women dating foreign men in Ukraine. That's his favorite. You know what? That's one of my favorites too, because it really kind of took the men from the very beginning, right? And they just came from Australia, right? And they went into this whole thing, and it showed them. It showed them before they were leaving Australia. They interviewed them in Australia with their friends and talking about what they were thinking about was going to happen. And then they took them over here and they kind of threw them into the mess, and and into the mix, and they threw them around, and they saw what happened. And you see from the very beginning, going all the way through the process, what happened to these guys. And it was a really amazing experience for all 3 of them. And I thought that the news organization did a remarkable job of filming it, of editing it, of doing everything they did. So yeah, I'd probably go with that one as one of my favorites as well, Eddie. All right. Okay, Chris says, all right, Chris, let's not get too judgmental here, mister. But he said, no, it just went away. Hold on a second here. Duck, duck, duck. He says, I'm not the best dancer in the world, but watching a lot of these guys make me look like John Travolta. All right. So let's talk about that a little bit. You go to the tour, right? And you don't like to dance a whole lot. You know what? I hate to dance. And if you see, you usually never see any footage of me dancing, because either I'm not doing it, or either I'll fire anybody who puts it out there because I look so bad, right? Those are the reasons why you really don't see me dancing anywhere. I'm sure Rob or somebody has some footage of me dancing somewhere where they're going to blackmail me for the rest of my life. But the fun thing is, guys, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a good dancer or not, no one really cares. The women are so happy you're just out there trying, and you're out there even, as others have said in the past, doing the white man dance. Whatever it is, at least you're out there doing it and making an effort, and that's kind of fun. And you don't even have to. A lot of the guys, I would say that probably 75% to 80% of the guys on this particular tour didn't ever show up on the dance floor. Really. They weren't out there dancing or anything. They were just doing what they were doing with talking to the different women and everything, and that's fine. So sometimes I think when guys see video like this, just because we have to find venues that are large enough to house the pure number of women that we're bringing in, that sometimes that these are large nightclub type atmospheres. But what you have to keep in mind, guys, is this is not your average nightclub, right? That you're used to going into, where you got to go in, you don't know anybody, you got to talk, and you're wondering if the women are going to talk to you. No. That's not what this is about, guys. Remember, keep this in mind. We control this venue for the whole evening, right? From the time you come in and you're registered and the women are registered and everyone's got their little name tags on, so that we know that they're supposed to be there. We have security there that keeps out the riffraff, right? We don't let the women or the men in that aren't registered, that we don't know who's there, right? So you understand that when you're there, this is not a nightclub. This is a foreign affair social. This is an opportunity for you to interact with all these other women that we've invited to this event. And so it's much different than just some nightclub, right? So we control the lighting, we control the music, we control the food, the drinks, everything. And we try to do our best to make it. You saw how the lights were up high there, right? There's a little bit of dancing going on, but you can still talk, you can still hear each other. We try to make it that way so that the environment still stays conducive to people meeting, people interacting, people relating, because that's what we're doing. That's what this whole thing is about. It's not about just going to some nightclub, drinking some champagne and dancing and going crazy. Oh, there's Anna. She's a little but that's what this is all about, guys. And it works well. But you got to keep in mind, throw out your previous mindset of what you're expecting. I heard a couple guys talk about it. I hate to tell you guys to get that. That's not what you get yourself into. And really, some of the only places that you see this type of venue, because these are kind of the larger socials, probably the largest that we do throughout the world, are in the Ukraine. But if you go to Colombia, or you go to Philippines, you go to Thailand, some of these other places, you'll see where some of the venues are just going to be either restaurants or ballrooms or places like that that don't resemble nightclubs at all. And we'll have a little bit of music there, maybe a little bit of dance for, a parquet floor down someplace to dance with. But every social is different in every different market. Even in the same markets, they're different from social to social somewhat. But they really differ when you go someplace from Asia, let's say, to Latin America, to the Ukraine. And you can experience all those. There's no law that says you're going to go on one tour. You can go to, we've had guys that have gone to multiple countries, to multiple different tours to see what it was like. And it's very interesting to do. All right. So let's keep going, get some more of your questions in here, guys. I love how many questions you guys are giving tonight. That's fantastic. Has it been decided? Matt wants to know, has it been decided who is leading the July Odessa Nikolaev tour? I believe that's going to be Anna at this point. I think that's where we're at on that one. Okay. Dave from Rochester says, hey, John, spoke to you on the phone last week. You were in the car with your wife traveling home after a getaway. Yeah, I think it's when we're coming back actually from our getaway for the anniversary. Talked with you about staying an extra week when I go. Got my plane tickets after I talked with you. We'll be sending out my final payment within the next week. Looking forward to going this summer to the Ukraine. Dave from Rochester, congratulations. Woohoo, that is wonderful. I think that is really, really cool. He's actually doing it. Congratulations. You're joining that 5% club. What's the 5% club? That's the percentage of guys that will ever get off their butts, get away from their keyboard, get out of their virtual reality, and go on one of these tours. That's the 5% club, right? Because the rest of the guys, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and there's a host of reasons they come up with, will never get on that plane, will never travel to a foreign country to see these wonderful women, to experience these wonderful things that they would experience if they would actually go. And it's just sinful almost to see so many men who are so close. They'll look at the women. They'll maybe even write to some of the women. And they'll spend years doing that. But they'll never get out of that virtual reality mode and go. And it's so sad. I had a guy at one of my seminars here recently who came, and it was almost a spiritual moment for him. And he said, John, I've been looking at you guys now for 20 years. Literally 20 years. We've been in business, guys, for 25 years. This happens more than you think now. And he's like, I'm finally going to pull the trigger. I didn't because of this, that, all these different reasons, right? I'm not going to go into all the reasons, but I'm finally ready to go. And that's wonderful. I'm so glad he's finally going to go after 20 years. One of the problems is he wasted 20 years. You could have gone 20 years earlier, right? We had a gentleman who was just 28 years old in here just this last Friday, who's doing the executive service with us. He flew in from Texas, and he's starting the executive service. He's 28 years old. Now, he's got a lot on the ball. He's got a few businesses he's doing on his own, and very successful. And, he's not your average, 28-year-old. And that's probably why he sees the value in this executive service, and he's actually doing it. And I think that's wonderful, right? So guys, it all depends on you. Reality is between the ears, I always say. You make your own reality. It's in your mind to decide whether this is going to be a good thing or not. You're going to be able to be one of the guys that actually do it, or you're not. And it's totally up to you. I'm not up here trying to sell you anything. This isn't about selling. It's about telling you what this opportunity is like, and then you make your decision whether you think this is something you should explore or not. I always tell guys, to me, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have one of the best vacations you'll ever have. You'll have the time of your life. Your face will probably hurt from laughing so much. I was just talking to Ernest. He said he can't really even laugh at all right now because he laughed so much during the tour that his throat hurts and that it's hard for him to even laugh. And then he started coughing when I made a joke, and then he couldn't talk again for another minute because he was there for like 2 weeks. And he was with Richard. And Richard, if you're watching this, I don't know if you're there. You're still there in the Philippines, I know. Congratulations to you too. You also got engaged. But guys, it's up to you. This isn't something that's really that expensive. It's actually one of the least expensive things you'll ever do when it comes to singles travel. But it's something that really can change your life forever. And if it doesn't, you still have a great time. So the upside's tremendous. The downside is virtually nil. So, it always amazes me that guys don't go more. But getting back to Dave from Rochester, the one thing that I wanted to touch on too with what he was doing is that he is actually staying an extra week, and he's already factoring that in. So he already bought his plane tickets. And that's one of the reasons he called me and talked to me about that. And we talked about it. And I said, yeah, if you can spend an extra week there, why wouldn't you? Because one of the beautiful things, guys, about our tours is that when the tour is over, our office doesn't just pack up and go away like some kind of strange little storefront, right? We're there 365 days a year, whether there is Odessa, Ukraine, or Kiev, or Nikolaev, or St. Petersburg, Russia, or anywhere that we go in Latin America or Asia. Our offices are there year round. So if you get there a few days early, which sometimes guys like to do to get over the jet lag and whatnot, or if you decide you want to stay a week later because you want to follow up on all the leads that you made during the tour, you'll still have support there. You'll still have staff that will help you while you're there. So it's nice. There's nobody else really, I don't think, that can really talk in those terms like we can, because we have all these offices all over that will support you after it's over, and that's nice. So Dave, congratulations, and I look forward to you going on that tour, and let me know how it all was for you. Okay, so let's see. Ransom is asking about some prices and how it all works, right? So it depends on where you go. It's all pretty much spelled out on the site. Yeah, the Latin tour is a little bit less expensive than the Ukrainian tours. And then we have what's called an individual club, which isn't really a tour. It's an individual trip that you can do. You give us a list of the different women you want to meet in a particular city at a particular time. You get to choose a time, which is one of the great benefits of the individual club package as opposed to the group tour. Because with the individual club package, you pick your own city that you go to, which is usually one of the tour cities, but you pick the time you want to go. And unless you're picking a really bad time, like the middle of the holidays or something, you can go anytime you want. And then we'll do up to 3 introductions a day for you every day while you're there. There's no socials, there's no group. You do your own accommodations, and that's about $1,000 or so for you to do that. And we just take care of get you from the airport, we get you to the accommodations you chose, and we'll give you advice on where to stay so you're close to the office. And then we'll do up to like 3 introductions a day every day. You're going out with these women, you're getting to meet them. It's a wonderful thing if you can't make the group tour or there's some other issues that you don't want to go on a group tour. However, I will tell you that you get more bang for your buck with a group tour, because everything that's involved with a group tour, and there's a lot that's involved with a group tour, that's all included in there, right? So not just the socials, not just the hospitality room, not just the hotel that's included, not just the other guys that are there and the synergy that comes with that, not just maybe the orphanage visit that we're going to do on a group tour, not just all the one-on-one dating that you're going to be doing out of the hospitality room, but when you put all that together and you add up everything, it's an amazing value for what you get, right? So I like the group tours better, but if you can't make a group tour, then yeah, you do the individual club, and it's still a good deal as well. So either way, you're fine. Jose says, the movie, Two Brothers and a Bride. That's how I found out about you guys. Cool. That was a cool movie. I mean, that's a Hollywood movie. Actually, when that movie came out, guys, we actually went to Hollywood. They had a red carpet event, and we were all on the red carpet. David Arquette was there. That was for the initial screening. And, you know, the media was there. They were all flashing the Hollywood paparazzi, whatever. And it was kind of a really eye-opening, kind of an intimidating thing to be there on this red carpet for this rollout of the movie, Two Brothers and a Bride. It was really cool. Then after the screening, they had a after screening party, right? And David Arquette was there, and a bunch of other kind of stars were there, and we were there, and it was really cool to mingle with Hollywood, right? And that movie was really neat. The way they did that, they contacted us and they said, hey, we want to do a movie about this whole thing. I'm like, yeah, right, because we get contacted all the time. There's so many different people that want to do so many things. But they actually went on the tour first to experience it, to understand what happens, and then they did they came back and they wrote the screenplay. And a lot of the things that they wrote in that screenplay happened during that initial tour they were on. I don't have time to go into all the different things, but you know, and some of the guys that appeared in the movie were our actual tour clients, because they filmed during one of our actual tours, although they only used a couple of the clients, right? And then our tour was totally different than what they did, really, because it was Hollywood, so they did their own thing. But it was really, really interesting to see how they did everything, and to have some of our own guys in the movie. Because in the movie, part of their movie was kind of a documentary on how this works. Emily Mortimer was this like journalist, right? And she was kind of showing and shooting things. And it was really funny. One of the lines, they were actually filming one of our guys getting ready for the social. He was in his underwear, and they're filming him getting ready for the social, and they're asking him a question. This was not scripted. This is the guy that just came up with this answer. And he's like, so why are you doing this? Why are you here going to this social? So the person, the man who was the cameraman doing the interview asked him. And he looked back, and in a deadpan voice, he's just like, boy, you ain't got enough film in that camera to answer that question of why I'm here. What's wrong with American women, basically, was the question. And look, we never bash American women here, but that was his answer, and it was really funny on the show, in the movie. You got to watch the movie to understand what this is all about. I mean, it's two poor farmers, you know, brothers, and mother was taking care of them, cooking them breakfast, doing their laundry, doing everything, and then mom dies, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to, replace that. And they try a maid, and that doesn't work. And then like get this brainstorm of an idea. We'll go get us a wife and we'll share it, right? Which is just ludicrous, kind of ridiculous, right? But that was the premise. And then they go over, and then everything changes, right? And I'm not gonna, be a spoiler for anybody who hadn't seen the movie, so I won't do that. But yeah, so that's a good one, Jose. I like Two Brothers and a Bride. That was a lot of fun. All right. EC says, I see a lot of new profiles each week of great ladies from Russia. Wow. What are these ladies expecting from... that changed again. Sorry, guys. This thing, when it keeps going back. So hold on one second here. Yeah, I see a lot of new profiles each week of great ladies from Russia. Wow. What are these ladies expecting us if AFA has no tours to Russia? Will they travel to other cities in Europe, or are they expecting us guys to show up in Russia? What do you recommend? Best media, the Australian news feature. It was great. Getting a couple now for that Australian piece Sunday night. Yeah, it really was great. Okay, first of all, we do have an office in Russia, by the way. It's in St. Petersburg, Russia. And you can do what I just talked about, that individual club. You can do that to Russia. So, but mainly you want to try and focus on women in St. Petersburg, because if they're in Moscow or Volgograd or Ekaterinburg or Veliki Novgorod or Novgorod, some of these other cities in Russia, they're probably not going to want to travel all the way to where you are in St. Petersburg. They may, if there's some kind of communication going back and forth for some time, but if there's not, chances of them coming all that way, probably not so much. But if there are some women in that St. Petersburg region, which I think a lot of them are, that we've been putting up lately, you can go to St. Petersburg and meet them. We had one client who was going to do the tour in the Ukraine, and before he was going to go to the Ukraine, a week before that, he was going to go to Russia and meet some of the women in Russia, and then jump over to the Ukraine. So there's different ways to make it work. Let's see. Let's see. This is Bob saying, from a man's point of view, Well, hopefully I can do that since we don't have the women here tonight. I will give my best man's point of view that I can. And yes, I know it's been many years since you went to associate yourself looking for the love of your life. That is absolutely true, Tanya. But I put the question to you. Okay, Bob. Did the social affect you as much when you first saw all those women in one room? And I'm talking about getting a bit starstruck. When many of those women start to look at you more so than ever before, what did you do to pull yourself together? Bob, I love that question. That's a great question because when I do the seminars, I tell the story about when Tanya and I met. And you know what? At first, it wasn't so bad for me because I was there with a purpose. I was working, right? I was a tour leader, and that's why I was on that tour. So yes, I think on that particular tour way back, we're going back now, 1997, Russia, St. Petersburg, social, figure about maybe 15 guys, 150 women, something like that, right? 10-to-1 ratio. And I'm in that room and I'm going from table to table and I'm busy, I'm working, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing as the tour leader. Yes, I was single and yes, things can happen, but I wasn't really looking for that. So I don't think I was quite as intimidated, quite as worried as some guys are. And I understand why when you're in there and all of a sudden all these women are looking at you, right? Although they still were looking at me and I was a little bit younger back then. I was in my mid 30s, right? And you know, I don't want to boast, but I'm, you know, at least average looking, right? And so I'm in there and all of a sudden I spotted Tanya on the other end of that room. And man, it was like a switch went off. It was like, boom, lightning struck. And all of a sudden my heart started beating faster, right? And my palms started to sweat. And I got nervous. And I was trying to figure out what to do. Because all of a sudden I'm nervous. I'm like that little school kid, right? That a lot of us are like when we're around all these beautiful women. And I get it, Bob, and it happens, and it still happens even at these socials, although we try to push the guys in. Once they get used to it and once they see how receptive the women are and how much they really do want to talk to them, that nervousness does go away. But at first, it's there, and I get it. So what I did is first I went to a corner, I gave myself a pep talk. And I said, all right, John, you can do this. You're the president of the company. You can do this. You can walk right over there. You're going to be fine. And so I gave myself that little pep talk, and that didn't work very well, right? I'm not really good at pep talks. I don't listen to myself very well, I guess, so that didn't work very well. So then I had the bright idea of grabbing a bottle of champagne. And now I got a really good reason to go to that table, welcome the women there, and talk a little bit, right? And, you know, and I was leading the tour, by the way, guys. I just want to say this. So I wanted to make sure that I was not stepping on anybody's toes. I wasn't, even though I saw her and she was the most beautiful woman there that night, I wasn't going to go over there and start talking and monopolizing her because, you know, I know that other men are there too. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that I did not step on anyone's toes. But I did want to talk to her. So I took the bottle of champagne, I went to the table, and I still do this today. And I welcome the women in because I have a ton of respect for all the women. So I went to the women at that table. There's about 5 or 6 women at that table. By the way, all of the women at that table ultimately met and married men from a foreign affair. And even from different countries that came through a foreign affair, which I thought was pretty cool because Tanya was friends with those women at that table and still is with some of them. But anyways, I walked up to her and I was a little nervous, but I said, oh, thank you for coming. Here, have a little champagne. I'm so glad you're here tonight, that kind of thing. And she just looked at me and basically blew me off, which doesn't happen that much. But she looked at me and she said, you know, I just came here because I had a really bad day in real estate and my friends dragged me here. So I just want to kind of be with my friends, dance, drink some champagne. And then she kind of looked at me with this kind of strange look. And I'm like, okay, all right. And I said, well, good, here, have some champagne. And I kind of walked away. But something in her look, something in the way that she said that, I knew that I had to keep kind of going back, right? Now, look, today, some guys might come to me and say, oh, John, she's not really serious. She's a scammer. She's just interested in drinking champagne and being with her friends. She told me that, right? Guys, I don't care what they tell you. They're not going to tell you that, oh, please, please pick me. They're not going to get down on one knee and beg for you to pick them. That's not how these things work. These are very proud, wonderful women. And they're going to be nice to you. She was nice to me. She said it with a smile, right? Almost a little wink in her eye. She was nice, but she's not going to, she's a proud woman. To this day, she's a proud woman. She wasn't going to sit there and like, oh, I'm here to meet you. No. And guys, you don't want that, right? You want the woman to, want you to do a little bit of chasing, right? You want that. You should want that. And you need to do that to a degree. So if she tells you that, that's fine. Be nice. And you can say, yeah, I'm kind of here just to see what this is about. I always want to see Eastern Europe. I always want to see St. Petersburg. I'm a history buff, whatever. And I thought this would be a fun way to do it and meet a lot of wonderful women. Boom, done, right? And now you can just interact together without all this kind of weird nervousness about, well, I'm just here to meet you, and can you live on a farm, and can you do this? That's not what it should be like. It should just be fun, and it was fun between us because I kept coming back, and I kept giving her champagne. Now, granted, I might have given her a lot of champagne that night, and probably that helped, okay? But we kept kind of talking, and after that social, and I waited, and she was alone, and so we actually spoke for hours after that social, and it was amazing, and it was great. And I still remember it like it was yesterday, yet we just celebrated our 21st year anniversary. And it was 23 years ago this July when we met. And guys, if I would have been that one guy who came up to me and said, oh, John, she's a scammer, you should invite her back again, she's not interested, that would have never happened, right? If I wouldn't have gone back, if I wouldn't have just kept doing it. But you're the man, you're supposed to be the man, especially in Eastern Europe or Latin America, where they want the man to be the man, right? And they expect him to be the man, not some timid guy who, if they just say something, you're just going to run away and say, no, she's not interested unless they jump in your lap. They want to be pursued a little bit. They want you to be that man. They're beautiful. They're feminine. They want you to act like the man, right? So keep that in mind. I'm not trying to lecture, guys. Sometimes I get a little passionate. Someone needs to slap me. Kirk, you guys, when I get too much, this should be like this long thing, you come out like, slap me, because sometimes I get a little too, thank you. I get too preachy. I'm not preaching, guys. I'm just trying to help you. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've seen it. I've talked to so many of these women. I know what they really want. I can tell. And I'm not any better than you are. It's just that this is what I do day in and day out, every day for 25 years. And I've seen a lot, whether it's Eastern Europe, Asia, Latin America, and the women interact a little bit differently in all those different cultures because it's a culture, and that culture is a little bit different than our culture. And our culture right now, in the U.S. at least, and I know I'm speaking to men in all kinds of different cultures right now in different countries, so I really shouldn't talk just about the U.S., but at least in the U.S. and Canada, from men I've talked to Canada, the roles between men and women have become somewhat muddled, somewhat a little bit different, difficult to understand what the other person really wants. And the women say the same thing. They don't know so much what a man wants. And the men, I don't know so much what a woman wants. Should I be sensitive? Should I be strong? Should I cry? Should I compliment her? Should I open the door? Should I not? Should I, all this, well, all that goes out the window when you go someplace like the Ukraine. Because there's no doubt in your mind that you should open the door for that woman. There's no doubt in your mind that you should compliment that woman on how she looks. Okay? It's kind of like going back a little bit, guys. But these are beautiful, intelligent, well-educated women. And this is a wonderful opportunity to meet those women. So pay attention to that. All right. I'm not trying to preach. Let's see here. So, Bob, I hope I answered that question. I went off a little bit long on that, and we're going to run out of time. But I'm going to get through all these questions, I promise. I know, because every time I do this, I get mean letters from the union. They're mad that I hold them a little bit later, but I'm going to try and get this done in time so they don't yell at me again. All right. Eric, John, glad you're hosting tonight. Well, thank you. At least someone is. I got one fan out there. That's good. I'm fully committed to registering for the Kiev Kharkov tour starting July 9th and have a lot of questions. Do you know who's leading that tour? I do believe it's going to be Anna, but if you have questions, Eric, you can call me or Anna, and either one of us will be happy to answer all the questions that you have. That's what we do here all day, every day. You'd be amazed at how many men that we talk to all day about these things, because it is a little bit different. Well, how's this going to work? Why do I look so blurry? I'm blurred out there. Am I drinking too much champagne over here or what? Oh, okay, anyways. Could be just my monitor. But anyways, yeah, we answer the questions, and that's what this is about. So call us, and we'll be happy to answer any question you have about this. Okay. Charles, I went on the Ukraine tour in November 2019. What is the best way to follow up with the ladies we met? Will they travel to other cities like Rome or Paris to meet with me? And what do other guys do to stay in touch with Ukraine women? Love that question, Charles, because when you meet someone, I use this example of building a fire in the forest. So it's this tiny little fire that when you first meet, you're trying to build into this roaring, huge, warm fire, right? But at the beginning, you got to rub those two sticks together. You got to make that spark. And then you get the connection there? See how I did that? You get that spark, and then you, you fan that spark, and you keep going from there, right? And then you get this little fire, this tiny, gentle, little, fragile fire that's gonna blow into this big, nice, warm fire. That's the beginning of a relationship. That's a good analogy on how that relationship is starting. And you can smother that fire, right? You start throwing a bunch of kindle wood on there and you know, moss and all that other crap. You'll put that little fire out. You'll smother it because you did too much. You just put too much. But if you just do it the right way, you put a little bit here, a little bit there, that fire will grow. It'll slowly grow. So when you meet someone, sometimes I see the mistakes some guys make is that they're just all over that fire, right? They're just putting all kinds of stuff on there. And then they're calling constantly, well, where are you? How come you weren't home Friday night? What were you doing? Who were you with? What, you know, that kind of thing, because you're a long ways away and all of a sudden you're feeling a little jealous, a little insecure, and you're not trying to, but it's starting to come out that way. And all of a sudden that fire is just starting to go out because you're just kind of killing it, right? So the best way to keep these things going is you just keep it kind of light at the beginning, right? And you do fun things. You send her fun little clips of something, maybe a fun video that happened, and you comment on it, right? Not with Facebook, really, because I hate Facebook, but you know, just something yourself, right? You send it to her. You do maybe, look, if things are going really well, you'll know it. It should be reciprocal. She should be giving you things, you should be giving her things. When I say things, I mean nice little things, not laptops, not, you know, expensive bottles of perfume or houses or, you know, fur coats, but just nice things, you know, like, I don't know, maybe she sends you a little stuffed animal and you send her a beautiful poem written in her language, you know, these kind of things that are love, right? This is what you want back and forth. Yes, you can give her little gifts from time to time. There's nothing really wrong with that. But if you're trying to buy your way in, that's not going to work either. So you don't want to do that. But you kind of do that a little bit, Charles, and then start planning a little trip. What's wonderful right now for the women in the Ukraine is they can travel to Western Europe now on their passport. They can go to France, they can go to Italy, they can go to Spain with no problem. They get on a plane. They don't even need a visa to go to those places anymore. They did a couple years ago, or even a year and a half ago, but now it's changed and they can go wherever they want to go pretty much, except the UK, Australia, US, some of those places it's a little bit tougher to go to. But Mexico, no problem. We just had some of our staff in Mexico here recently. You know, I mean, wherever you want to go, you can go with her. And that's a wonderful idea too, Charles, because if there really is a connection there, taking her to Dominican, let's say, or to Jamaica, or to France, Spain, wherever, and spend 3-4 days a week with her. Oh my God, you're going to learn so much about that woman during that time. It's amazing. Because it's easy to put up a front on a 2-hour date, 4-hour date, even for a couple dates in a row. You know, you can still keep that, you know, that really cool front up we all do, right? This is who I want to be, so I'm going to act like this, and you know, and my hair is perfect and all this. But you know what? That all goes out the window after a while when you really get to know each other, who that real person is underneath the front that we all put up, both the men and the women. We do this, right? We put our best foot forward. We try to, at least. But a week of traveling 24/7 with someone, you can't keep that up. If you do, you're really, really good at it. And so it's going to come out. Some things are going to come out, good and bad. And guess what, guys? There's going to be good and bad about every woman that you choose or who chooses you, and vice versa, because no one's perfect. And if you're looking for that perfect woman, then wait another few years until they start building those, you know, real life robots, and you can put in and program whatever the hell you want, and it'll be perfect. Won't be human, because humans aren't perfect, but you know, it depends what you want. If you want a real heart, you're going to have some imperfections. And sometimes I see guys that are just being too picky. Well, you know, she eats her peas one at a time. I can't have that. That's a Seinfeld reference for you Seinfeld buffs out there. But if you're looking for the perfect specimen, then she doesn't exist. I'm just here to tell you that. But there's some wonderful women out there, even with some of their flaws. And guys, you know, you have some flaws too, right? So, you know, you find that right person, you find that compromise. That's what love is about doing a little bit of compromise, and you move forward. And you know what? Some of those flaws will turn into some great things actually too sometimes. So these are some of the things you do. You know, and guys, you have it a lot easier than we did years ago when it used to cost $3 a minute to call and talk to someone from Eastern Europe or from Colombia because AT&T had a monopoly on everything, I think, and it was just very expensive back then. Where now, oh my gosh, you can do Viber, WhatsApp, Skype, you can get video for free. And that's a good thing. Or sometimes that could be a bad thing too, because back in the day when it was $3 a minute, the phone calls were somewhat limited because financially you didn't want to, you know, spend thousands of dollars a month talking. And so it wasn't overkill. And part of that was by financial necessity. Now that it's free, sometimes, like that little fire I talked about, guys will tend to try and talk too much. And they're calling too much, and the woman's starting to get a little like, okay, again, we just talked 10 minutes ago, and it's just too much too soon, and you put that fire out. So be wary about that a little bit, guys. Keep that in the back of your mind because you don't want to overdo it. You just met this woman, and she had a life before you. She has to have a life now. You know, you want to slowly integrate yourself into her life, and together move forward, and you want to do it at a organic, natural pace, not like I'm here, you know, I need attention, here I am, don't ignore me, I won't be ignored, that kind of thing. Don't do that. Okay. Hopefully that helps, Charles, but you know, I'll be happy to talk to you privately and we can talk and yeah. This is HB says, hey John, I met you at the Dallas, Texas seminar. Love the Dallas seminars. Kenny's, that Italian restaurant over there, Dallas and Addison. Oh my God, the best veal parmesan anyone could ever have. Kenny's Italian restaurant. I always give them free plugs. I think they gave us a little free garlic bread last time because I complained at them. I'm always giving you guys free plugs to millions and millions of men in our audience out here every Monday when I talk about Dallas. And I think they did give me something last time because it is the best veal parmesan you'll ever have in your life. If that's still politically correct enough to eat, I don't know. It's probably not, but I'm sorry. I'm going on the Kyiv and Kharkov tour April 2nd, April 12th. Will you be there? That is fantastic. You went to the seminar. You found out how it all works. Now you're going to go on the tour. I love that. Unfortunately, or fortunately for you, depending on how you want to look at it, I will not be there because I just did the one here in February. So I'm not going on the one in April. However, Joe the Cop will be there. Joe the Cop's cool. He does a great job. And he's very well seasoned. There's Joe the Cop. How can you go wrong with a man that dresses like that? I mean, come on. So he'll treat you very well. Plus, you know, here's a little secret I'll let you in on. Whether it's Joe the Cop or me or Anna or whoever's leading that tour, you know, we're just kind of like the pretty face. We're the window dressing. But the people who do all the heavy lifting, the people that do all the hard work, that get all this stuff really going for you, this is the office staff. It's the staff in Kiev or staff in Nikolai or staff in Odessa. All those people, from the managers down to the whole staff there that's doing all the phone calling, doing all the arrangements, doing all the hard work, taking care of all your lists, doing this, doing that. They're the ones that make these events really happen. So whether I'm there or not doesn't really matter because they do the job. They do all the work. Believe me, it's not me doing these things. I'm there and sometimes I get credit and I shouldn't be taking the credit because they're the ones that do the hard work. But you know, I'm so glad that you're going. You went to the seminar. That's really where my job comes in more, is trying to convince you guys to at least give this a try. Give it a shot. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And that's where really my time's usually more spent. Okay. Dave from Rochester says, I liked the movie, saw it back in the early 2000s when I first heard about your company, watched it to see what your company was about. Well, I don't know if that movie really reflects what our company's about, the one from Hollywood there, The Two Brothers and a Bride. It gives you a little bit of insight, but not really. It's more how they took a little bit more of a Hollywood spin on it. But I like it. I think it's fun. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's cool, and I think it's great. Eric says, what's the deal with the seminars? That sounds like the old, you know, Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal? Yeah, okay, sorry. I got to get out of this Seinfeld stuff. What's the deal with the seminars? I'm in Virginia Beach, and the closest one listed on the site is Charlotte, North Carolina, which isn't that close. Aside from the discounts offered there, is it worth the plane trip? Yes, Eric, it is. I'm going to tell you. And you know what? Almost every seminar that we do, we get someone that flies in, and I always feel extra like motivated to make sure I give the best possible seminar. It's like going to a concert almost. Like you got to give this good performance. The guy spent money to come here on his airline ticket, and we get that a lot. I've had guys that have flown from New York to Phoenix to come to our seminar. The last one we just did in Phoenix, actually, a guy flew from San Francisco and came and flew over. So, and the seminar-only discounts that you'll receive will more than offset the cost of the airline ticket, especially if you do it in advance. Some of these airline tickets you get for peanuts, right? Maybe $100, a couple $100. And you'll get far more than that in the seminar-only discounts that you'll receive for going to a seminar. But in addition to that, you'll get a lot of great advice, a lot of really great information about how everything works. And you'll meet some really fun other guys that may actually go to one of the same tours you're going with. That happens sometimes. Guys will make friends, and then it just turns out that they're interested in the same country, and then they kind of pick the same tour they're going on, and that kind of happens. There's just a lot of synergy that can happen. I'll tell you, one of the last seminars we did in Los Angeles, we had this gentleman, I won't say your name because you may be watching the show, wonderful guy, but this was his 13th seminar, okay? 13 seminars. And we were reminiscing back to his first seminar because he bonded with some of the guys that went to that first seminar. Well, some of those guys actually signed up for the tour and went on the tour. Some of those guys actually got married. Some of those guys actually have children that he knows now just from being at that first seminar and meeting those guys. And he, actually met some of the guys at the seminar in LA that we just did that came back to tell about their travels. Because a lot of times we'll have our clients that will come to the seminar to share their stories and talk about what happened with them. And, he was hugging them and stuff like that. So the seminars are a great place to go. And I think, Eric, if you can make a seminar, I'm sorry there's not one in Virginia Beach. I'd love to do one. Maybe I'll try to get one out there at the second half of the year. But they're wonderful. And they're a lot of fun. I love Virginia. I went to Virginia Beach when I was a kid in Cleveland, because I grew up in Cleveland, in 16 or something like that. I wanted to go on vacation to Virginia Beach, Virginia. No one would go with me, so I just went by myself. Said, screw you people, you don't want to go anywhere? Again, it's the 95%ers, right? They don't want, no, we don't want to go anywhere, we're staying here. I was like, okay, I'll just go by myself. So I got my car and I drove to Virginia Beach, and I went to the Mount Trashmore or something like that, I remember. And I'm like, wow, they turned this like trash heap into a park. I thought it was so cool. I think it's still there. Anyways, all right, sorry, I digress. Mark says, John, how do you handle meeting over 100 ladies in one night without losing focus? Very carefully, Mark. You take this thing called focus factor. It works really, really well. I'm just kidding. I'm going faster now because I know we're running out of time. I'm going to start getting those nasty letters from the union, so I got to go quicker here. But guys, you have a matchmaker at your side. She is dedicated to you. It's a woman. She's going to be there. See this picture? See that woman on that guy's left? That's his matchmaker. She's at his side, not that one. But anyways, she's at your side throughout the whole social. And she will keep you focused if you let her. She will actually guide you to women that she feels, because she may know a lot of the women, may be best for you. See, that's your matchmaker right there, to the guy's left. She's got the papers in hand. She's got the stuff. Now he's talking, so she's off to the side. That's the way it works, guys. Where else can you go and be assigned a matchmaker who will be with you, work for you, interpret for you for 4 hours as part of the tour? I mean, that's an amazing thing. So that helps you keep focused. And then, yeah, you're right. It is a little bit hard because you got all these beautiful women and your head's getting turned a million different ways. And, by the time the tour is over, you're going to need to get whiplash insurance or cure. I get that. But if you can really remember what it is you came for, and try to stay focused as much as possible for that, and kind of have that laser focus and go after that, and make sure your personal assistant there knows what you're going after, and the two of you together, because let me tell you, that matchmaker, she doesn't get thrown by beauty. Her head doesn't get turned by another beautiful head or a beautiful woman, right? That's just not a big problem for her. So she's not going to be writing bad checks to that first beautiful woman, right? And she'll stop you from writing bad checks to that first beautiful woman. And that's why we do this. And it works really, really well. Stay with me there. That's a good thing. All right. Edward says, I met several ladies on the November 2019 Ukraine tour. One lady, after several dates, asked for help in learning English and help for her to pay for the English classes in Kyiv. What do you recommend? And then for the upcoming 2020 tours in Ukraine, will the tour groups take a bus or train to travel between Kyiv and Odessa? Best media, the Australian TV spot. Woo, that Australian TV spot's winning hands down. And that was a really, really good media piece. All right, Edward, I think that if you really think that she needs help with English and you two really have something going together and you really feel close to this woman, you feel there's a trust there, then you can help her with the English classes. I do not recommend just giving her money for English classes. I recommend either purchasing them either through our site or through another third-party objective site and then having her go take the classes. I don't know where she's in Kyiv. I mean, there's English schools you can find online. You can help work with that. But, you know, you don't want any doubt in your mind that you're not just giving someone money who's really not using the money for the intended purpose, right? So if you can control where that money is going and pay a third party to kind of make sure that the English lessons are being done, then that's great. Because yes, believe it or not, that's happened where someone's given someone money for English lessons and then the English lessons never really were taken. Oh my God, yes, these things can happen, right? I mean, they can happen anywhere, any place, any time, and they can happen here as well. So what do? Do you just stop doing it because, oh my God, a scam can happen? No. You pay attention to what sites like us tell you and try to do your best to take away those opportunities so that it doesn't happen. And I'm not saying that would happen here in this case, Edward. I'm just saying just be a little smart about it, how you go about doing it. If you want to call and talk to myself or any of the staff here, they can give you really good advice about that, okay? And as far as the travel between Kiev and Odessa, my guess is they'll probably do the bus, although the train's kind of fun, that overnight train. We did the overnight train in February because I was afraid that if we took a bus, there might be some weather conditions that would then stop the bus from going and then we'd miss the social. Oh my God, you know, in 25 years, we've never missed a social yet. And I'll be down if we're going to miss one on my count or my watch when I'm there. So the trains go through rain, sleet, snow, pretty much anything. So that's why we took the train. And it's fast, it's easy to sit on the train, it's comfortable. I think it's actually better than a bus. Some guys like the bus better. We haven't really decided exactly. We'll look at it, but my guess it'll probably be a bus. All right. Does wage slave, like that, wants to know, does being 22 years old put me at a disadvantage? I hear most women like men that are older. Yeah, 22. First of all, kudos to you for actually even considering something like this at the age of 22. You're a smart person, obviously. You think outside the box. You're probably going to be really, really successful in life. So congratulations. I like that. Yeah, you know, depends. You're 22. We have 18 and 19-year-olds on the site. And at 22, you're probably more mature than most 22-year-olds, or you wouldn't be talking and looking at this right now. So, like I said, we had a 28-year-old who just came out here doing the executive service. So at 22, this would be an amazing experience for you. Are you really ready to get married yet? That's a question you need to ask yourself at 22, right? In the United States, that's a little young right now for a guy to get married. So you need to know, okay, is this really what I want to do, or do I just want to go over and experience it and see what this is really like? And you know, and you can do that too. But, you know, call and talk to me. I think I need to ask you a few more questions before I can really just answer that question. Okay. Fraser Bay. Joe made a great point on saving $100 a month, and you could easily take a tour in a couple of years. I now have a game plan. Cool. I like that. Very good. Very good. Tanya, no summer tour for me. Oh, Tanya, you go on any tour you want to go on. Believe me, I wouldn't stop you from going. Fraser Bray, Two Brothers and a Bride, best media coverage. Is that pretty accurate to what happens on a tour? Not really. I think Two Brothers and a Bride, like I said, it put a little bit of a Hollywood spin on it. I think you need to look at more things like that Sunday night show. That's a lot more accurate than Two Brothers and a Bride. I mean, it's close, but there's a little bit more of a Hollywood spin on Two Brothers and a Bride. I'd look at things like the We TV piece. We didn't talk about that tonight. The We TV piece is really interesting. If you can find I don't know, Kirk, if we have a link to that Nat Geo piece about bachelors abroad, that was really good, and that really showed well how. And the one on Barranquilla with what's her name, Lisa Ling, that was really good too. Okay. Jesse, John, great to have you back. We missed you. Did you? Did someone miss me a lot? I'm going to have a tear coming down here pretty soon. It's wonderful. Please tell all the guys listening, do not write the ladies till right before you go on the tour. I spent thousands of US dollars on letter with little or no results. From now on, it's write them a week before you go and invite them to the social. Again, it's great you're back. Go, John. Take care, Jesse. You know, Jesse, I totally agree with you. I don't think you need to write at all even before you go. If you want to write right before you go and maybe see if we can get something, like I got to get something going. Well, okay. I mean, if you really think you want to do that, I didn't write before I went with Tanya, but if you really want to get something going, then that's fine. You know, if you're going to write, and we have a really good piece about the writing on the site, and it's called SMART, and that's an acronym, by the way, guys, SMART. And it's really good because it kind of shows you, gives you ideas on how to write and how to really do it, well, the smart way, right? And one of those things is not to write forever and to write before you go, shortly before you go if you're going to do it, and to write with a plan. Like to have a plan on when you're going over and let the women know when you're going. They'd much rather have that than just a pen pal forever. So thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate that. And someone missed me. I love that. I feel wanted. It's so great. All right. Brian says, I noticed you have women from Vietnam. Are you guys having a social there in the future? What's going on with China in June? Great questions, Brian. Vietnam, yes, we do have profiles coming on. We don't have a social or a tour schedule there for this year. We'll look at where we're at with that next year. You got to have a lot of profiles and a really good infrastructure before an AFA social or tour can take place. And I'm hoping that's going to happen in Vietnam here soon. That would be an amazing place to go. So we're looking at that, but it's going to take a little bit of time to develop that. So give us time. But the profiles are coming up and they're being very well received on the site. So we like that. What's going on with China in June? You know, your guess is as good as mine, Brian. Right now, our tour is there. Right now, it's open. You can sign up for it. As you can see on the site, we had to cancel our tour in March for China due to the virus. It just would be ridiculous to try to do that there right now, obviously. In our 25 years history, we very rarely ever canceled any tours. And this tells you how serious this is with this virus right now. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I can't tell you what June's going to look like yet, but I'm hoping it'll be all right. All right. Leonard. My man Leonard. The champagne still works today. Believe me, I do it every tour in Bangkok. That's coming from our manager in Bangkok, Thailand. Let's not forget about Thailand, guys. You know, we talk a lot about Eastern Europe and whatnot. We have a tour going up there in April, and I'm excited about that, and then again in the summer. But we also have a tour coming up in April, I believe it is, in Bangkok. And, you know, Thailand's amazing. The last tour I did in Thailand, we did not have anybody who wanted to leave. I mean, that's virtually every guy extended his stay to stay in Bangkok. And I think we had 4 guys starting the fiancé visa in Bangkok. So Bangkok's amazing. The scenery, oh my God, you thought you died and went to heaven. I mean, it's just awesome. And just the culture, to walk the streets, to eat the food. I mean, Tanya and I were there. She was in heaven with the Thai food. She loves Thai food anyway. To have Thai food in Thailand is amazing. And the women and everything. That's why I talked about the layers of the tours, guys. These tours have layers. It's not just about going over and meeting the women in Thailand, but it's about all the other things that happen on the tour. Like I just talked about, you know, going on the river, going to the monastery where there's monks and tigers and stuff like that, going and getting to meet Leonard. I mean, that's almost worth the price of admission in and of itself. Let me tell you, yeah. Leonard, you gotta love Leonard. All right, when are you going to do your next seminar in the San Francisco Bay Area? It'll be sometime after June, but I'm not sure exactly when. But you know, when I put that up, you know, we were so far away from June. Now we're getting closer, so I'm gonna have to get the remaining 6 months up here. I'll try to work on that this week or next. Wesley wants to know, are Ukrainian women as publicly affectionate as the Filipinos? I think so. Ukrainian women might be a little tad more reserved because that's their culture. And I don't have the time to go into why that is, although I have a very good reasons for why that is, but they're a little bit more reserved at first. They're a little more stoic, but that's the way that their culture has brought them up for survival, believe it or not. And I'll talk about that some other time, but I just don't have the time right now because I'm already getting yelled at. We're going to have big problems with the union tomorrow. We're already over like 15 minutes already. Oh my gosh. You don't understand what it's like dealing with unions here. And Phoenix is supposed to be like a right to work, but no. When you get into media here, it's tough. These guys are tough. Kirk tries to keep him in line, but it's difficult. All right. James says, if I'm having too much fun here. That's why they don't let me do this anymore, because I enjoy it. I have fun, and then they kick me off. Go figure. All right. If I'm already planning to go to the September cab tour, but go to a seminar before, then is there still discounts for me? No. No discounts for you. Another seminar. Another Seinfeld reference. I got to stop doing that. Yeah, if you're already planning on going, did you sign up already? If you signed up already, then you really got to do something special to get that seminar-only discount. So talk to me when you come to the seminar. Go to the seminar. If I'm not there, talk to me before or after you go. Look, I want you guys to go. I want to try to help you as much as I can financially. These are the cheapest tours on the planet. Just do a little bit of research, right? So you're getting so much for your money already. Then we give you so much when you do the seminars because we're really trying to push you to go over there. That, I'm trying to still stay in business and do everything and keep everybody happy. But talk to me. I'll do what I can if you already signed up because, I hate that. Well, this isn't, good for someone who already signed up. That's not really fair. I hate that too. So talk to me. I'll do what I can for you, James, all right? We try to love everybody as much as we can. Let's see. Just a couple more here and then we're going to go because I know we got to go. I'm going to get really in big trouble. Big trouble. All right. Leonard says, all the Vietnamese girls will come into Bangkok. Ooh, guys, did you just hear that? That's coming from Leonard. He's saying that the women from Vietnam will come to Bangkok. Now, I'm not totally sure that that's true for every woman, right? So we have to, go one by one, but I think the option is available at least. So I like that, Len, that's good information, and we'll get that out to the guys. So if you are interested in or corresponding with someone from Vietnam and you want her to come to Bangkok, there's a possibility she can come. I didn't even think about that. See? That's why Leonard gets the big bucks over there. All right. Omaro, I believe. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I love the name. It looks very interesting. Is it better to go on a single tour than a social? What's the advantage of a single tour? Because I'm leaving towards a single tour. I have an open reservation now. Well, 10 times better. We say single tour. Are you talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about a club. You're comparing a club to a group tour. I will tell you the group tour is the best thing since sliced bread, right? And I like sliced bread. If I could eat bread the way I really could eat bread, I would be like 5,000 pounds because I love bread. So when I say it's the best thing since sliced bread, that really means something. And so I think the group tours are the best bang for your buck. They're the most effective and efficient way to go about meeting someone, guys. It's amazing. But if you can't make a group tour, because the one downfall about the group tours is it's got set dates for the rest of the year, and we just don't change the dates. You can't call me up and say, hey, John, I can't get off work on the 21st, but if you could change that date to the 21st from the 27th, then I'll go on your group tour. We're not doing that. We don't do that. We can't do that because there's thousands and thousands of other guys out there looking at that, and I can't just change dates, right? But if you call me up and say, hey, John, my vacation time's on the 21st. That's the only time I can go. I want to do a club tour to this particular place, the individual club tour during my vacation time on the 21st. No problem. No problem. We can do that. We can go anytime you want. Why? Because we have our matchmaking office there, and they're available to help you whenever you want to go. So yeah, that's fine. So that's the advantage to me of the individual. You can have up to 3 introductions a day, but you get that with the group tour, right? The hospitality room will give you up to 3 introductions or more a day, every day, while you're there on the group tour. So you get the best of both worlds with the group tour because you also get the socials and you get the other guys around. You get all that synergy and all that. Ooh, Lima, Peru, love that. We got that Peru tour coming up really soon here, March 5th, and you can go do parasailing right off that little cliff. That's only a short walk from our office, guys. That scenery you're looking at right now, I stayed right there at Love Park. That's Love Park right there in downtown Lima, Peru. Oh my God, the food there is to die for. I mean, that stuff is, I hate that saying, I'm sorry, but it is really wonderful food. I mean, just amazing. They have everything from street food, ceviche, all that stuff, to some of the world's top restaurants at an amazingly discounted price because you're in Lima. I mean, Lima is one of our best kept secrets, guys. If you're thinking at all about going on a tour, this is one of the tours I would highly recommend. It is amazing. Does a great thing. All right. But yeah, so hopefully you understand what I'm talking about with that club compared to the tours, the group tours. And the last question of the night, thank you, I know, applause, John's going away, finally, get him off. I'm surprised you guys haven't cut me off. You probably have cut me off, haven't you? We're not even going out live anymore, are we? You've already disconnected everything, probably, right? Yeah, okay, fine. I'll keep talking anyway. You know, I could do these seminars for 4 hours, and I go on and on like the Energizer Bunny. It's not a problem, so I'll keep talking. All right, whether I'm going out live or not, the last question is going to Ransom, and he's saying, any plans for adding Brazil? Funny you should say that. I was just talking to someone today, David, you know who you are, and he was saying that he would really like to see a little bit something going on in Brazil. And, you know, all I can say is so little time and so many beautiful women all around the world. And there's only a limited number of resources. And, you know, we go so many places already. I mean, no one even comes close to doing what we do all around the world the way we do it, right? We're unique. There is no one else out there that is even anywhere near this. And so adding another location, we really have to look long and hard at that because of all that goes into it to do it right. But I really would like to do something with Brazil. We actually did try probably about 15 years ago to do something in Brazil, or even longer than that. Maybe it was like 18, 19 years ago. And it was just not doable then for various reasons. Now it may have changed and we may be able to do it. So that's something that we may look into because there's some beautiful women in Brazil. And Brazil itself, I've been to Rio, I've been to some of the other cities there, and Sao Paulo and others. And it's a beautiful, beautiful country, and the people are so warm and friendly. So another language, you gotta learn Portuguese, but it's close to Spanish. But anyways, gentlemen, you've been amazing. And yes, we went a little late today. I'm so sorry to our wonderful staff here that had to stay late here tonight. Please don't send me too many hateful letters. But I haven't been here for a while, and I really enjoyed myself. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully I gave you some good advice. Hopefully at least there's one or two things that you could walk away from today's show knowing that maybe you didn't know when we started. And I apologize if I was being a little preachy to you. I really don't mean to be, but I really believe in what we do. It's important to me. I've been doing it for 25 years. I wouldn't be doing it for this long if I didn't believe in it. And it did work for me, and it's worked for so many others that I know. And it's just fun. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you got to have fun with the things that you do. And if you go on one of these tours, especially if I'm there, you'll have fun. But and if I'm not there, you'll still have fun because the other people there are wonderful and they do great things. And you should. And if you happen to meet the woman of your dreams while doing one of these wonderful tours, then that's fantastic. And that's really what we are striving for and pushing for, is that end goal. But at the very least, we want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to have fun. We want you to have a vacation of your lifetime, one that you'll never forget. And I think we do an amazing job of that with every person that goes on the tour. And I'm proud to say that. Not every person that goes on the tour will meet the person he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And if any company tells you that, yes, we guarantee it, then you should turn and run, because that's just sales gimmicky crap, right? Because it takes two people to make that happen. And it takes the stars to be aligned properly. It takes the right timing. It takes a lot of things. But it also takes numbers. And we do that for you. And we give you that opportunity. So again, worst case scenario, great vacation. Probably one of the best you'll ever do, right? That's worst case scenario. Best case, you meet the woman that just changes your life forever, and you end up spending your life with her, right? Hard to go wrong. All right, guys, I'm so glad they let me on. I don't know when they'll ever let me on here again, but it was really, really nice to be here with you tonight. And if I do get to come back again, which I hope I can, I will be happy to go over some of these other stuff. We really didn't get into the media. I was going to talk about Dr. Phil. I was going to talk about some of the ones that didn't go so well. You know who you are out there, media, and we're going to talk about that as well. Maybe we'll do another one with the media again, and I'll get to talk a little bit about that too. But you guys had so many wonderful questions, I didn't get to it, and we still went way over, so maybe next time. But until then, guys, thank you so much. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. You got all these beautiful girls, and now they think you're a star?
Now they're gonna really think I'm a star too. Anyway, cheers. This is my first time here.
Ready for round 2 tonight?
I'm going for it.